I started to work with LTI since I graduated from the PhD. So today is like an overview about my past research, but shortly, and from my experience to share with you. So if you have something to do with LTI, so what will you going to face? So in Taiwan, we have lots of sites since our Dr. King, he started the LTR research in Busan since 1992. At that time, I just finished my master's degree, so I have no idea what is happening because I was in Germany. And then, year by year, there are more sites established. And then the term, so we call it the network, was founded in Taiwan. So there are 6 sites which work with forest. After I come back from Germany, I joined a team which work in Busan and is still very active until today. And because there's a labor, so I also work in Chiao Mountain and at the very beginning working with Yuanyang Lake. Since I'm familiar with water and soil, about 2000 there is agricultural sites established in Dafu Dano in Hualien. So that time I expand from here because it's somewhere in a very warm agricultural land which was transplanted to a plantation, so forest site. So in the same time, a friend of mine, so our XXXX coordinator, she's 18, she works in canteen, and I was invited to help her something to do with the nutrient and soil. So I was engaged in 4 sites. So there are some goals. So we are very closely to the US LTI goals. So to understand and to do the outreach and do the education and information and legacy. So we hope that after the long-term study, we can do something for the future generation. And after some years, there are 2 more things. So were introduced to LTR, which is something human and environment interaction. So what I have done is something with the primary production, since I'm a soil scientist, and movement of the organic matter. It means that the litter flow into the ground, and then how it decomposes, and how transport into the river is again soil to water, and the disturbance pattern. So if we go back to here, so we want to know, because Taiwan has lots of typhoons come from this way. So how they affect our ecosystem, the pattern and the nutrient dynamic. And for the population dynamic, it's nothing to do with me, but we still have another network which is supported by Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. So Busan and where I work, the dynamic samples are in this forest dynamic plot. Of course, the one who sits there, he spent really lots of energy and coal for mining. So we have a very big plot for the population dynamic study in Busan till today. So already we have 20 years results. And because I engaged in the nutrient cycling and organic matter movement for a long time, in 2016, there was a IES cooperation work about how is the decomposition in a river. So they call for the sites which can offer not only the labor, but also the fundamental data. And Taiwan was very lucky since we monitor the factors for a long time. So we participated in this study, and Taiwan, I was the one who was in charge doing this. And again, thanks for Dr. Ting, he gave me this chance. And so they sent the material, and then we put it in we choose a small river, a stream, and then put this, and we measure some parameters, which is important that will influence the decomposition in the river. So we collected the sample back after 1 year, but after 3 months. But after 3 months, our site was destroyed by a typhoon, so we had to go there. In danger. But I was very lucky because I have very good friends. You must have very good friends, so who can risk their life with you to do their ecological research. And then, these are the cutter strip, is the standard tree strip. And then we collect them and ship them back to America. So, and then it was published 2 years later. The publication was at 2018, and everybody was happy because we do not really much, but we got a good result about the pattern, how the decomposition happened in the river. But after many years, this year, so since the end of last year, they call for more details about the water chemistry and also the temperature, long-term monitoring data. So we just got another new paper published in Science. Nothing to do with me, as a very little thing to do with me. But because we have the temperature data, we also have how the annual precipitation, and besides, we monitor the nutrients, the nitrogen and ammonia, and also the phosphorus in the stream for really a long time. So we offer the data, so we are engaged in this new paper. And you can see that in Taiwan we are really very influenced by human activity. Since the more human introduce their pollutant into the water, you get more pollutant, so it will increase the decomposition rate. So it's a new finding, and it's also a great honor to be involved in this. The other program that I took part in, she was also there. It was started at 1917 by the Swiss government. They are asking also for decomposition. They asked the Lipton company to offer the material with standard green tea and rooibos tea. So it will be the green tea and the yellow tea. Two has different chemical characteristics. So we put it in the whole world. You will see the dots. So, and most of them happened in Europe, of course, and Taiwan, because we are long enough. So we have 6 sites engaged in this study. And the first publication comes, this is Busan, Chilan, and Kenting again. So we find that the decomposition rate later will come, and you will see Taiwan is here. We are something that's very warm and very humid. And warm and humid is relatively rare in this earth. So our participant will offer some different aspect or some data that is not much in the world. Okay, so we see, of course, the decomposition increase, the rate increase with temperatures. Nothing to wonder, right? And also slightly increase with is controlled more by the precipitation than temperature. But we want to know if it is something to do with the long-term the deposition, nitrogen deposition. So after, again, so 2017 we start and we collect the data, and 2021 we publish the second data, which has made the model to understand how the nitrogen deposition influences. And you will see Taiwan is always at this side of the decomposition rate. In the whole world in Taiwan is quite fast. So, but you remember we have 5 things and some goals. But one thing is that how is the interaction between ecosystems, so natural ecosystem and human activity. So my personal interest is, could we do something in the city, not always in the remote forest, like the first 6 sites sites, they are all in the forest. So I took my pilgrimage as I was in America in 2017. I asked for the LTR network to help me to visit their site. So I went to Arizona. So they showed me one place, they call it the Crestmere wetland here. And here the water comes from all this area. And you will see it's quite brown. It means that's in the desert. So in deserts, there's not much water. All the water comes from the agricultural land after tillage, and also the human activities like the wastewater. So all this water come to here for treatments and then let it go. So it's quite polluted. Now what the scientists could do, they do some design to gather the water, to filtrate it in a natural way, like to plant a very terrible, a kind of grass. I have not known the geologist, so a grass. So I went there, and the first thing I see is the pelican in Arizona. So it's quite interesting to know how they do their study in this kind of condition. It's a real city condition. And the other plots or side plots they show is the Indian band wash. It is here. You will see still in the desert. And there is a small green band is green. So it's flooded during the rain season. So this flooding will block the way that they go through. So they try to design how to manage the water. In the traditional, they would do this way to pick a bigger and deeper waterway, but because the scientists, they want something else, so they asked them to do it like a green band. So as I was visiting, it looks like a park, a very beautiful park. So during the flooding season, it is no more over. Flooding is like in a beautiful park. So I think that's the contribution of the long-term ecological research that can influence the government or influence the design of lots of cities facility. So I learned lots of things that if you want to do something using your ecological data to influence the policy, what you need to do is not only the science, you maybe need to know how to cooperate with the NGO, or you need to know the regulation and how to influence it. And of course, there's so many things, and the most difficult thing, and what the OSEC do the best is the fundraising, because without money you can do nothing. And that is the thing that I am so unable to do. So I'm a unable girl with money. But still, I keep this in mind. So I think maybe I can do something with small budget, and which can start. And if I got a result, maybe one day I can ask for more money. So I put LTR, and I may have a networking, and I have very good friends who will risk their life, right? So, and I'm working with the Taiwan Forest Research Institute, so I must do something with the forest in the city. So actually, I started the new work here. This is, wait a second. Okay. This is Taipei, and there is a relatively big park in the middle. It's green. And we know because more and more people were moving into the city, so parks were seen as a hotspot of the urban ecosystem. And how you manage it maybe can be a very good example for the people to understand what happened with the ecosystem. So my design was very easy. I went to the park, I observed, and I found that most of the park in Taiwan is over-designed, and they left very few green area beside the trees, a tree above and underground is nothing. So some of them they make a pathway, but most of the area is bare land, and people that dance there. So I spent 2 or 3 weeks trying to make friends with the aunties who dance every day there, there and ask them, if I do an experiment in your park, is that okay? If I make the design like this way, is that okay? And they all say no, because they want to stay the same. And they will worry if I make a good experiment, and then the stakeholder, the agency who control this or manage this part will change their activity. So I make my new design quite small, so 1 square meter to do my experiment. Yeah, and why I do that? Because litter is a food and a habitat for the soil fauna. So if you take their food and habitat away, there won't be a chance for the small bugs to live in soil. So I make some simple ideas. So if I can manage the litter better, there's a chance to supply the arthropods in soil, some food, some habitat, and will the carbon in the soil will change, of course. And will be the flooding will be reduced, even though it's only a small square meter. So yeah, this is where I study, and you will see I put most of my mini plot around the area, because here is important for the tanties. They want to do their dance and kung fu every day. Okay, so they worry. So as we are establishing, you will see, as we are constructing this mini construction, we were asked maybe 100 times by different people, what are you doing here? And what can we learn? Are you going to educate us? Are you going to show us your data? And so on. So I find that to make the soil better in the park is maybe not so difficult. What is difficult is the social response. If they claim that our study disturbs their activity, they will try to stop us. And besides, so I need to do my public education program with them. So why is this study important and connected to your life? And of course, I hope that after this study, we can raise some environmental action. Yeah, the design is quite easy. Block it, put the leaf inside. So what we see, and in this area, I choose 3 kinds of habitats. One is nothing, wrong way, One is nothing left on the ground, and the other are the turfs or the grassland. And of course, due to the forest, we have some bushes. So I compare the 3, and I do the 3 years monitoring. It costs not much money, but it costs really lots of manpower. Yeah, and we take the soil sample back and extract the fauna with the burlesque funnel, and we count who are there and how many, and we got the results. Okay, so I'm the one who do soil and water, so I'm very, very unfamiliar with the mesofauna, and this is a different taxa. Taxa, you know better than me, that's from the very high level orders. So maybe only our boss also can know what I'm doing. So, but you can see, you will understand that from the bare land, you always have less animals. And once you have something green above, it's no matter grass or litter, you will get more bugs, more mesofauna. It's not difficult to understand. So we separate them into springtail mites and Orvatida mites and so on. And lots of them are llamas and from different gato is in German, okay. These are springtails. Still, in bare land, you don't find a lot. And hello? Okay, mites too. And Orvatida mites, looks like a cute one. Yeah, very few. And this result encourages people to understand. So what are they? What are they doing? And my answer is, I don't know. I really don't know, because there are so less scientists who engaged with this group. So after 3 years, yeah, this is familiar with me. So after 3 years, this is the initial value. So if we remove all the leaves, yeah, still the nitrogen carbon increased. But why? Because it was blocked in my area. We have outside that is still the same here. And if we put the leaves from local, one single species, the increment is much higher than only block it undisturbed. But if we put the mixed leaf, the increment is more significant. This is for the carbon concentration, and this is for the nitrogen, and the CN ratio became stable after 2 years. So that is what we get. But this, for me, is really expected. I expected this result, but I needed this data to share with the general public. Yeah, and also the population in the soil. You will see, I took 4 times, and this year the sample was not yet done because all the tiny bugs need to be sorted out under the microscopy. So it is a very hard job for me, for my assistant. But you will see very clearly, if you use the liter, which will increase the population of this mesofauna. So very, very clear. And this is in April, October. Why we do this? Because in front we see that there is a seasonal variation of their population. So we try to do in the not too hot and not too cold time. So it's April or October. And I hope that I can continue this maybe for some years and to see even limitation. Because it is impossible that the carbon in soil increase without end. So we don't know where is the end. So I want to know that. And one thing more interesting is for me, I thought we did something wrong because this is from the bare land. And you see, if we use the pitfall, we use the pitfall trap, we get more bugs than so without litter than with litter. And I think it's just because you have nowhere for them to hide, so they have to move light. So they drop into our pitfall. Okay. So for the outreach program, yeah, I still have 5 minutes. So I designed some game, like a Lego game, so with some scientific question, and I teach the activity shows the kids how to use their cell phone with a microscopy to observe the tiny little box, so they can draw, or we make throw the game, so we ask some question. They have to choose the right animal to, I don't know what's the name in English. Yeah, so that's all the different activities I designed for the public education there. Yeah, and besides that, I also did puppet theater because, yeah, it's a long story anyway. I put this in after Vanessa Bates. Yeah, she told that she took the art program and want to do something interesting. So I would like to share with you that I did a theater about the soil and the animal and how you manage the soil will change the animal's behavior. So maybe we can join the 1 minute. Like this. Thank you. And that's in the real theater. It's not. And it was in school, so I did it in theater or in school, so for 3 years with the very expertise.
You want to audio?
E?
Audio.
Yes.
Oh,
You said nobody loves me. And the music is very nice, but this is the grunt. So like Sonia and raise funds, and secondly, to do your research, so really make you feel alive. So not only the monitoring and you maybe you can try something interesting. So I got some conclusion, and in here I just want to show you, after 2 years, of course, the construction will break. And then we found that we lose 2 centimeters of soil in the park, because when we block, the soil gets fluffy, and outside block, during the sweep of the liters, they move away also the soil. So it's just a small research, and the idea comes from the long-term study. So I learned this, okay. And I remember the last minutes for the lesson. After this, there is one more. This one. So since 3 years, we are in Taiwan, because to continuously have the grant from the government is almost impossible. So LTR turns to do the research with the social, it's a social ecological research. And I'm personally engaged with still here in Northeast Taiwan, where lots of the solar park was grounded, and of course the influence on the soil, and also the interaction or the confliction with people who want their ecosystem remain, but we still need the energy. So until today, we have 4 LT serve site in Taiwan, and this is connected to Dano, I used to work, and this this is connected to Fusan site, which I work too. And the other 2, the one blue one is a green island, and the other one is with the wind, the power supply. So I hope in the next, this long-term monitoring, exists, and so we can answer more questions. Thank you so much.